Hello and welcome to Scrapping on the Fly. My name is Kristen and it's Sunday, so it's time for me and my friends to do Scraplift Crafternoon, where we pick a layout that inspires us and we try and scraplift it. So here is the layout for today, and it is by Yvette Weber. I think that's right. And it says My Creative Scrapbook, and I will have a link below for her YouTube channel, and she's also on Instagram. And such a cute picture of a doggy, so I decided I'd use this new absolute favorite picture of my dog Tinkerbell and my Neff Pup Pax and scrapbook that. And she used Vicky Bouton's Art for Everyone, so I am going to use Vicky Bouton's Art for Everyone. And I have these scraps as well as the scrap here, which is the one I'm actually going to be using, and then some. And then I also have where she's got like this really cool pattern in the background. I wasn't really sure how to make that happen, so I got my blending brush out. And this Obed Marshall, I need to invest in more stencils, you all. That's the plan. I have this Obed Marshall Buenos Dias collection, and I'm going to use part of that. And then I pulled out 2 of these ink pads, and I'm only going to use one of those and add a different one. And then I have these Recollection stamps that have like florals on them, and I wasn't sure what I was going to use, but I don't have a lot of flowers. And then I have this Vicky Bouton ephemera little container. And then up here at the top of her layout, she's got a couple of tags, and there aren't tags really in this collection. So I have my Dress My Craft tag maker, and I feel like I'm just going to use that to create from there. And then bring in whatever other mixed media I can think of. So I've got my papers, my stamps and stencil, my embellishments, this cute picture, and this awesome layout. So let's see how this goes. So this is the paper I picked to be the other little swooshy that is on the layout. And I picked this paper right here, and this is not white, it's an off-white, because the Vicky Bouton collection is like a dirty white. And so I didn't want to use stark white because I thought that it would not look right. So I'm going to start by using this blender brush, and I believe this is a Recollections. It came in a 3-pack. And I'm just going to take down this stencil. I'm just going to take it down there and press harder in places and softer in places. So it gives me some different shading. And I'm not looking for like a straight line, but I don't want that pattern necessarily like the floor, where it's coming out, fanning out. That's the word I'm looking for. So I get those in this, and this is Black Soot Distress Oxide by Tim Holtz. And I get that down there, and then I decide she's got, it looks like a dark color and then like gold on it. And so I decided that I was going to pull out this Peacock Feathers. It's also Distress ink by Tim Holtz. And I just lay it over, and I'm not expecting it to be exactly where the other spots are. I'm really just wanting to add another color. And it looks like maybe she used some kind of a mixed media, like a paste or something, or a glitter gel or something that goes through a stencil on top of whatever she did. I'm not sure. She doesn't have a video for this one specifically, but she does have a YouTube channel. So there's the finished background, and I'm really, really pleased with it. Like, I love that pattern, and I love how this turned out and how well that the colors went together. So, and I picked that tealy color because in one of the papers I used, there's a little bit of teal. So, and then of course there's teal and black writing on this one. So I had to be really cautious that I cut this the right way, because even though I can't read what the words say, because I'm not even sure they're in English, I wanted it to be the right side up. So I am not necessarily thrilled with the swoosh that I made. It's kind of peculiar looking, but once it's covered with the picture, it's not that big a deal. So I put it on the back side of this paper I'm going to use and cut it that way, so I know when I flip it, it'll pretty much be the same pattern going the opposite direction. So I cut it that way, and I'm not concerned with it being exact. I really just want to make sure that they kind of groove together, but don't necessarily have to be exactly the same thing. And I love, even though the pattern in the background is almost like an animal print, It really brings out the little hexagons that are in this paper that I picked. So, and because it has that dirty white on the end, I just take my black soot ink pad. Now, normally I would have got a blending brush for that, or the dauber, but I have been packing at my scrapbook room because we're moving this weekend, and not the weekend we're in, but this coming weekend. And so I've packed a lot of my stash up, but obviously not that much because I still have plenty. However, I went through and built kits for every day moving forward this month, which made me super happy. But anyway, so a lot of things have been packed up, and it would have been a pain to try and dig it out. I already had to dig out some things that I pull out. So it's going to be interesting to scrapbook for the next week while most of my stash is safely in my mother's basement or packed in my house waiting to be moved to my new apartment. So I backed this picture. I left it full 4x6. I backed it on that teal color with the print, and then I backed it on that hexagon paper. And then because I wanted it to stand out, I put it on the back of the hexagon, which is like this, almost like feathers. Not that you can tell that because it's just a really thin border, but it's black. And I could have just taken a black mat and not used that paper, but I really was just kind of sticking with the entire collection, and everything on this layout, except for a couple embellishments, are from Vicky Bouton. So, and I love that. I mean, I don't normally do a whole lot of collection stuff, but since I started doing videos a year ago, I have pulled lots of awesome collections, and I'm loving that. So I take this little scrap of paper from my Art for Everyone collection, and I fussy cut the florals. I am not going to make you watch all that, I promise. So, but there's only like 5 of them that I can cut from there. So I pull all these different florals out of my stash to see what's going to work. And it is a really weird array right there. I mean, that is like Christmas flowers. I got silver, I've got white and gold. I mean, like a plethora. I wasn't going to use it all. I just wanted to see what was going to work. So I get out these stamps from our collections. I just got these not that long ago. And I also get out my tag maker, and I decide that I am going to use the same paper. And I love this paper. It says, "You make me smile. Hi, honey." It's really, really pretty, and it's from this paper pad. And so I cut 2 from one strip, a 2-inch strip, I think. 2.5-inch strip. I can't remember now. 2-inch. I think it's 2 inches. And I turn one around. Now the other side has lemons, but you can't really tell because the way I lay this hello down, it covers the lemons and all you see is the leaves, which kind of goes with the concept of the leaves and the flowers. So I really do love it. And then from the paper pad, I cut out one of the 3x4 cut aparts, and I just cut the top part off where it says hello, and that's going to go up there at the top. And so I start stamping. I ended up pulling some colors out of a packed box. And the first one I stamp with is another Tim Holtz Distress Ink in Ripe Persimmon. And I know that most of this is not going to show very much, and some of it might even get covered up. Like that one I just put down, it's going to get covered. But I just wanted to add a little bit of color around, so I stamped a few florals here, there, and the other place. And that way, when I put the ones I fussy cut down, if there is a gap, there is something behind the gap. And they're empty in the middle, and it's just an outline of the flower, but it gives you a little something to look at if it is not a full, like her layout is like a big full bouquet of flowers and feathers. Not feathers, flowers and leaves. So I get all of these stamps down, and I just chose a few of my Stampability stamps as well in green, red, and orange because those were the colors that were on here. And like I said, you can barely see any of that. And the up close, you probably can see them a little bit better. And then I take these flowers that I have fussy cut out, and I'm going to put the big one down here on the bottom left like she has on hers. And then I just tuck the other ones in over here, mostly on the right and one over there. Nope, mostly on the left and one over there on the right. So, and then pull out these Vellum Confetti by Studio 18. And yes, you'd think I'm crazy because they're red and they're like they look like Christmas to me. But what I did was I just pulled the leafy bits out, and they're vellum and they're really pretty. And the one side is like an evergreen, but the other side where it's see-through, you can see the green, but it's not as dark and stuff. So I actually put them down backwards, or not backwards, well, flipped around. So I tucked those in and they're like a lighter green shade. So, and I like that a lot because it's not as dark and wintry looking, because these are spring pictures. We are at the beach, at the beach house for spring break. And so now I'm going through the ephemera, and a lot of her stuff is very bold and bright because it goes with the color study collection. Some of it is more of that dirty white, and so it goes well with this collection. And I'm looking for a title, and I'm thinking about these, but they're all solid, like really bright white. And then I find this, and this is the perfect title. It's black, which I've already brought in. It's got a little teal in it, and it says Good Friends and Great Adventures, which is absolutely perfect because these two get along like peanut butter and jelly. I mean, it's just like they instantly got along when the first time they ever met. So we're actually getting them together today for a birthday party, which is where I'm headed as soon as I get this video uploaded. So anyway, so I have to cut it out because it's on like a Polaroid, and I don't have that much space. Like it would have fit, but it would have covered part of one of the dogs, or it would have looked kind of weird to me. So I just lightly cut, and I leave a little bit of that dirty white border around the outside. And then I have this little phrase that says, do all of the things. And I thought that was super fitting too, because these kiddos are doing things they've never done before, like go to the beach and go on, walks on the beach and things like that. So, and a big, huge car ride. So I do decide to put the title up on Fun Foam. And since it's going right over my picture, I wanted to put the sticky part from the Fun Foam on the back of the title, and then use some double-sided adhesive on the part that's going to touch my picture, since I know that it is photo safe. And I don't always think about that, but today I just happened to be thinking about it. And I also added some Nuvo Deluxe just for extra adhesive. So then I faffed around trying to figure out where I wanted to put this little do all the things. I thought I'd stick it over here on the left, but I don't like it there. So I end up just sticking it down by the between the flower and the title on the bottom. And I like that because there's already black up at the top where it says hello, and then of course there's the black border around the picture, so I wanted to make sure I had that black kind of in a few different places. So I had one little boo-boo at the top from where I was doing my stenciling, and I just covered it with that turquoise gemstone. And this is a gemstone that I believe came in a goodie box from my sweet friend Anne Marie. And so I'm using up some of those, and they're on like a line of them. And so you can put them down as a whole line or pull them apart, which is what I usually do. And then I want to add something else, and I thought about a clear, but the clear wasn't going to work for me. There's no gold on here, so I didn't really want to add the gold or bring in a metallic. So I decided that I would use these pearly things that are not white and not really off-white. So I thought that they would be a good fit. And I used those to fill my tag holes, because no naked tag holes. And just to add some little this and that. Now, look at this hot mess, you all. I obviously need to invest in something a little bit bigger for my gemstones. Because I have one thing where all my enamel dots and shapes are, and a different thing for my gemstones. And obviously it is a little full. So after all of that, that is it. And I'm going to bring the layout up here to show you again. And then I'm going to show you some close-ups. I hope you all will go below to the links. There will be a link for Yvette and her Instagram account, because I'm pretty sure I have that too. And there will also be a link to Anna from Peacecraft Love, who is playing along today, I believe, as well as Tara from her, I think she's finally changed her YouTube channel to The Paper Snob. And so if not, look under Tara O'Rourke. and you'll find her there. And then Christine is not playing along today, but you can always check her out, and her link is going to be below, as well as Kimberly, who her and Christine started this Scraplift Crafternoon. So I hope you will check them out as well. I hope you all come back again later. I'll have a best of 30 days of sketches to share. Have a great day and happy scrapping.